All right, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Let me see if my volume levels are okay. Let me see if anyone can hear me just fine. Looks like we are good to go. All right, y'all. What's happening? Is me coming at you again with another live hangout vid. All right, now let me just. I know I've been seeing a lot of rambles, a lot of videos come out about this today. Well, for the last 2 days, I should say. On this whole Anthony Joshua Deontay Wilder situation, which has become further toxic than it's ever been ever since the Alexander Povetkin, ever since the WBA's came out and issued a 24-hour ultimatum to Anthony Joshua that he must face Alexander Povetkin, otherwise if he doesn't commit to the fight, he's going to get stripped of his title. Well, that was announced yesterday around my time. It was on 4 a.m. Now that time has actually no, it was announced the day it was out actually announced the day before yesterday. So that 24-hour deadline has passed. So I don't know what's going on there with the WBA. Are they going to announce Joshua's going to be stripped, or that fight is going to be announced tomorrow or Friday? What's going on? So here's the thing. I've seen a lot of people who are upset that Deontay, blaming Deontay Wilder for why this whole fight didn't get made between him and Joshua, and there's other people blaming Anthony Joshua or Eddie Hearn, by that matter, for why this fight didn't happen. So there's a lot of back and forth and blaming going on, the blame game, okay? But let's just, take a step back. Those of you who are going to be listening in, I know it's late, but I'm not going to get many traction here. But it's all good because I've been doing a lot of, I have a new job, new management job, and obviously taking care of the employees, getting them trained. It's a lot my life outside of this realm of YouTube, but it's all good though, man. It's rewarding. It's worth it. So this is what I worked for, so got to deal with it. Alrighty, so Street Fighter Alpha 2. I'm a Street Fighter fan, guys. Forgive me. Saw something here regarding the Street Fighter collections. But anyways, here's the thing. There's a lot of back and forth going on, and a lot of people are quick to point the finger on either Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua. But let's take a step back here and let's put on our rational caps, I should say, and let's just use our brains here, okay? Now, obviously, this back and forth is about who's stalling the fight, who's taking long to respond, this, that, and the third. Of course, Eddie Hearn's coming out saying that it took Deontay Wilder 4 weeks to get back to us, and then this, that, and the third. What's going on, Mr. Doc? Yeah. Doing good, man. I have to have you hop on here for a second so we can discuss this. So, long day at work, but I want to get my thoughts on this. So, you have this whole thing about Deontay Wilder taking so long to sign his end of the deal. They send it back to Eddie Hearn, this, that, and the third. Then, the deadlines were set for Wilder. Then these deadlines get extended by Hearn. And then this, that, and the third. But let's be honest, people. When a contract or a term, as you want to call it, gets sent over to another party, it doesn't take 24 hours for them to review the contract, okay? They have to get their attorneys involved. They have to review the terms and provisions and the conditions that are entailed. And then the promoters or even the managers verify that information. They have to sign their end of the deal, then the fighter, and then it gets back to them. So it takes at least a couple of days. But I get if it took more than 3-4 days, then maybe that's an issue. Maybe, okay? But here's the thing. When Eddie Hearn sent the contract over to Wilder's team, they accepted the terms, they were ready to go. They only had a couple of questions that need to be addressed. One, why isn't the venue disclosed? Two, where is the date? What's going on there? Of course, some would say, okay, Wilder could have signed it and they could have worked that out afterwards. Okay, fine, fair enough. That's a good argument. But the problem is that Eddie Hearn announced that, the fight is going to be next year, April 2019. Now, wait a minute. Here's the thing. If Wilder signed on to that, and then Eddie comes out and said, well, it'll be a later date, April 2019, guess what? The Povetkin fight will still have been made either way. Wilder will still get a voluntary defense. Plain and simple. So I don't know why people are having all this hoopla about why this Wilder didn't sign on to the fight. Even if he did, it wasn't going to happen right away. It was going to happen at a later date, and AJ will still have to face Povetkin. So there was no point for him to try to get an exemption to put the fight off. That wasn't going to happen because Hearn even came out and said before this that he's not going to make the Wilder Joshua fight for September because of the Canelo and Golovkin date. He didn't want to interfere with that date, which I found a bit strange. Okay, fair enough. So why everybody's getting upset about this? Even if Wilder signed on to it, we weren't going to see this fight this year. As I've always said, it's going to happen next year. And I honestly believe that Hearn and his team don't believe that Joshua could beat Wilder at this point. They're waiting for him to slow down. In fact, I'm gonna be fair here. I'm gonna put on my promoter's cap and try to put myself in Eddie Hearn's shoes or his father's shoes. Look, they have their number one cash cow. He's raking in millions and millions of dollars, more revenue they've ever seen from Matchroom other than Carl Froch, or since Carl Froch. And already he's at the peak of his career. He's already in his prime, about a little bit over 20 fights. So why do we got to continue to put him into fights? He's already got a huge following. Why do we got to keep rushing him into fights? Not saying don't get me wrong, that's a mandatory. So, but the fact is, I think they're trying to be strategic with Joshua at this point. They don't want to burn him out. They want to continue to rake in the millions of dollars that they have on him to maximize their profits. And again, it's nothing wrong with that as a promoter. As a boxing promoter, you got to make your money. You got to keep your company afloat. And Joshua is the guy who's doing that. So I don't see nothing wrong with that. But I just wish that, from a business perspective, but I wish that her and his team just come out and say that's what they're doing. Of course, they're not going to say that. But the fact is that Ahmed says, I would like to come on, but I'm about to go to sleep. It's 5 a.m. Hopefully you can start earlier next time. Yeah, man. I mean, I work long hours now, so I don't really have that much flexibility like I used to. But as soon as I get everything dialed in my new job, I probably have a little bit more flexibility, and then I will be able to start things earlier. So it's all good, man. Ambitious D, what's happening, man? He said the signs were there, but if you don't want the fight, then don't make up lies and blame Wilder. Yeah. That's the thing. D, yeah. The thing is, I don't think Wilder is 100% unfair because if you look at it from a rational perspective, so that way they can get an advantage over one another. It had signed on to that deal. We weren't going to see that fight this year anyway. Think about it, because Hearn was the one who came out and said, well, the fight was going to happen in 2019. Oh, my mic's breaking up. Can you hear me now? How do I sound? Oh. How about now, Mr. Doc? How do I sound? All right. Hope I sound good. All right. Thanks, Ambition D. So, like I said, guys, that's better, I think. All right, cool. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, so, again, guys, why are we all complaining here? Why are we all fussing over this? That's why I had to kind of laugh today about this whole situation, So, let's be honest. That Povetkin fight was going to go down anyway. There was no way that Joshua and his team were going to put that fight off. They weren't going to do that. But the only thing is now they're probably hoping, they're probably a little confident that they're going to get Povetkin to come over to the UK because they have because Eddie Hearn had a meeting with the billionaire backer of the Zone the Zone app that's supposed to take a launch in the United States, which I'll get into pretty soon. I'll get into in a sec because I've heard they're having a lot of trouble with that situation. What I've been hearing. So I think everybody just needs to cool their jets, as I would call it. I just think everybody needs to calm down, drink some water, no disrespect, and just come down to earth and realize that there's no point to argue over this. There's no point to point the finger at who's at fault here. The fact that both sides were playing games, they both were trying to get an advantage on one another. It's just the way it is in boxing. It's the way it is, especially the fight at this magnitude. That's what's going to happen. But again, I just know why people are getting upset that Wilder for not flying onto contract, believing the fight was going to happen this year. It wasn't going to happen this year because Hearn himself never disclosed the actual date on the contract. And then when Shelly Finkel asked about the date, he says it's going to be April 2019. So they're okay then. So if Wilder signed on to it, so what? It wasn't going to happen this year. You know? So I'm just being honest here. Again, I maintain my belief that they're just trying to not burn out Joshua. And I don't think they really believe he's ready to take that fight right now. I really believe that because that's what Barry Hearn says, and that's what other outside factors like Teddy Atlas and Roy Jones even came out and said it too. They don't think Joshua was ready for the Wilder fight. Again, I think Joshua believes he can beat Wilder. I really genuinely believe that he wants that fight. I genuinely believe that he wants to come to the USA and fight Wilder. But I think his team got involved and they got into his head. They consulted with him, including Robert McCracken, who's his trainer, by the way. I think they all sat down, talked to him, and said, you know what? I think that they probably told him you need to put off that fight just, hopefully for another year because, again, as your cash cow, you don't want to burn him out because, obviously this is what Kathy Dewitt did to Fernando Vargas. She burnt him out at the early stages of his career, even though Vargas was winning his tough fights, but he was getting beat up in some of those fights. He was getting hit. So, and of course that became a residual effect to the latter stages of his career. He retired only at the age of 29. So there you go, or before he turned 30, that was against Ricardo Mayorga. But anyhow, it is what it is. Now, let me get into the zone real quickly. Ambitious D say, yeah, I heard the zone signed to deal with Bellator MMA. You know what? I didn't really hear that, but I did hear that they're actually having a lot of trouble trying to sign marquee U.S. fighters because of what I listened to another channel's video about this. I forgot the name of the channel. Forgive me. And he's a UK channel, by the way. And I'm not going to mention the guy because he seems to not like Eddie Hearn or Matt Trump for some reason whatsoever. But the fact is that I heard on his channel that Dan Raphael had put out a report and did some further investigating journalism on the Zone app and on his on his platform and how much revenue is going into it and what it further entails. Now, according to the uploader, Dan Raphael reported that the Zone app is not exactly a 4-year option as we thought it would be. It's actually a 2-year option. Not only is it a 2-year option, the revenue does not seem to match up to what the contract term is with the Zone app deal. Okay, that's what Dan Raphael's saying, and he's also reported that there's been many marquee fighters that were courted to this, and they were interested until they found out that the further details of the deal, they passed up on the deal. So you named the Charlos, you named, of course, Adrian Broner, obviously. That was public. And, of course, you have more recently Errol Spence Jr., who turned down that deal with Eddie Hearn. And it's unbelievable that Errol Spence get attacked for turning down Eddie Hearn. Yeah, you see how, how things are this day when it comes to social media on here when it comes to boxing. So Errol Spence gets criticized for not signing with Eddie Hearn. But, look, that's his career. If that's where he wants to manage, if he feels he doesn't need a promoter, that's up to him. I don't know why people want to go ahead and attack him for not signing with Hearn, but it is what it is. And to be fair, some people have attacked other fighters for not signing with Heyman. So, I just think that fighters need to, don't need to be attacked for, for trying to manage their own careers if they see fit. If it's done and if it's doing good for them, so be it. But if this guy's like, I don't know. If there's guys who are not manageable with their careers in their own right and they feel they can do things their own way, then I can see where the criticism comes in. But needless to say, Errol Spence seems to be doing fine right now. So if he feels that he needs more marketability, then that's up to him to go seek promoters like Hearn and who he turned down, by the way, in De La Hoya. So that's up to him, So what else we got here? Tyson Fury is even stepped in and said, I'll fight Deontay, called out Deontay Wilder, said, I'll fight you next. He says, send me a contract right now. I'll sign it. I'm not sure if Tyson Fury is actually serious about that, to tell you the truth. So I just don't know if he's really serious. Even, let's be realistic. Tyson Fury fight Deontay Wilder at this point, he's going to get knocked out. Let's be real. He's gonna get knocked out. I guess what Fury's trying to do is like, you know what? If Joshua's not going to take the deal that Wilder gave to Joshua, then I'll step in and take that deal. I think this is all about money for him. I think he wants to step in and take that Deontay Wilder deal and come to the States. That's probably what this is all about. So I'm not sure if Frank Warren wants to do that because Frank Warren is a smart businessman himself, even though he's busy now and he's has a bad reputation of mismanaging his fighters. But we'll see. I don't think that Frank Warren is going to rush Tyson Fury in with Deontay Wilder as easily because let's be real, because Tyson Fury at this point is probably his biggest cash cow. And then after that is Billy Joe Saunders and possibly Anthony Yard. Who knows? But I don't think, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder at this point. Nah, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. But if they do make that fight right now, I will be shocked. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I will be shocked if they make that fight right now. Let's see in the comment section. Ambitious D says, I heard the zone signed. Well, I read that already. Mr. Doc says that, yeah, Fernando looks like he's 50 years old when he fought Mayorga. It was shocking. Yeah, he looked like he aged real quick in that fight. And obviously that's due to the fact that he took a beating and all those, the scar tissues that started with the Felix Trinidad fight. But even before that, he took shots against your boy Campos, Rohu Marquez, Art Corte. He took some punches in that fight against Corte. Wiki Wright beat him up pretty good. Ross Boss Thompson. I mean, obviously that was a fight that he pretty much got through with no significant damage. Of course, that was the Felix Trinidad fight, obviously, that really kind of scarred him and then, pretty much derailed his career from that point. And then the other beatings with De La Hoya and Shane Mosley, of course, that ended with Mayorga. So, yes, Fernando doesn't look good right now. He looks pretty, he looks like in bad shape. He's got speech slurs, that's due to cerebral damage throughout his career. And it's sad, though, at a very young age, he had to retire at 29. He got burnt out because his career, some people argue that his career got rushed. Okay, fair enough. But, man was a champion, and Kathy Dubin felt that he was good enough to take on those big, experienced guys, which he did. He took on Corte, experienced fighter, Wiki Wright, experienced fighter, Hall of Famer Wiki Wright that he beat. Good contenders like Ross Boss Thompson, Raul Marquez, your boy Campos. So, yeah. Yeah, he fought. Yeah, Fernando did fight a lot of punches. He did. Trinidad, Mosley, De La Hoya. That's going to take effect on your career if you fight those guys, bro. So, yeah. Ambitious D said, yeah, it was a 2-year deal. Ain't no way you can recoup that cash in 2 years. The zone sucks and we don't want another app. Well, look, let me be real, Ambitious D. I really want Eddie Hearns to succeed with that app. I really think he does. I think he's trying to do good for boxing, despite what we say about him. But it's just the way you're going at it from a business perspective is that, okay, you got the $1 billion deal, 8-year deal. That seems very attractive and very lucrative for a fighter to come and approach you for that. But for what Dan Rafael's reported, is not what it seems. And that's why a lot of fighters, marquee fighters like the Charlos, Spence, have turned down. Of course, Broner obviously turned down the deal as well. So, yeah, and now I'm hearing Hearn actually wants Wilder to fight for the zone. He's giving him a decent deal, a $5 million deal. I'm not sure if that's a $5 million deal for one fight or is it a multiple fight deal, multi-fight deal, I should say. I don't know. That's what I heard. So I will have to wait and see what further information develops on that. Let's see. Does Wilder versus Fury draw like that over here though, Dan? That's a good question. Wilder versus Fury, it could be a decent draw. I wouldn't say that's to be a massive draw here in the States. It's a decent draw. I'm not going to say it's going to be massive, like 30,000 people are going to come out and watch that fight. No, I would say roughly about a good 16 to 18,000 people will show up for that fight. If you include some of the people from Britain who's going to fly out to see Fury, because that's a very high probability. So yeah, is that even a Vegas fight right now? Are you talking about Wilder versus Fury? I think that's more of a East Coast fight, more in Atlantic City maybe, or a Madison Square Garden, or even the Barclays where Wilder's been fighting at in recent times. So I think it's more of a Madison Square Garden type of fight, in my opinion. Derek Williams, what's happening, man? He says that What up, Dan? Vamp Life. Yeah, man, I'm a bit of a vampire, bro. Is it true that AJ say he would vacate the belt if Becky wins the first bid? If so, if so, he's a champion. Well, they did mention that that they would probably have to drop the belt. In fact, somebody from Sky Sports, who's an executive there, who's one of the most important individuals for Sky Sports management team, has advised Joshua to drop the belt if he loses the first bid to Vivek. But I would like to further add, though, is that Hearn has even hinted that if Joshua had to fight Luis Ortiz, if he's really had to do it, they would have to vacate the belt. But I'm not sure. Let me not probably put too much into that because, first of all, when this whole WBA and the IBF situation came about with this whole mix-up between Pulev and Ortiz, Hearn had hinted that they may have to vacate one of the belts because of this situation. And there was indication that it was a WBA belt and Ortiz was a mandatory challenger. We all knew what happened in that situation. And I don't know why people keep denying this fact that they did indeed void that fight with Ortiz. So, yeah, it's almost a similar situation as it is now. And for speaking of the Povetkin situation, I'll sidetrack a little bit. Hearn has actually had met with the guy, the individual who's a Russian, by the way, who's a UK citizen. He's a billionaire, by the way, who's actually the front runner of the Zone app thing. He's the one that gave Hearn the money that he needed to get the Zone going in the US. So they had a meeting, and he's looking for him to help him out with the first bid. I don't know the outcome of that meeting was. I don't know what it entailed, but to me, if I'm the individual that gave you the money that you need to get this going, I'm not seeing much out of it. What's in it for me to get involved in that first bid with Povetkin and his team? Because here's the thing: the guy's his net worth is $20 billion. Now, as far as Ryan Bitz is concerned, who's Povetkin's promoter, by the way, and what I've researched, his net worth is not even disclosed. And what I also heard too is that Ryan Bisky is not the only guy that backs Povetkin. Okay, yeah, Ryan Bisky may be his lead promoter, but I heard there's other people that's in business with Ryan Bisky that does help Povetkin's career. So even if this guy gets involved, he might not be able to beat Ryan Bisky in the first bid. Now the question is how far will he go to get that fight in the UK for Joshua and Hearn? So that right there is going to be. I'm gonna have to say this, man. I don't think they're going to win that first bid. I don't think they're going to do it. And if they're going to go to Russia, then, like I said, part of me don't blame them for not going to Russia because of all the funny business and the shenanigans that's happened in Russia. Part of me says, you know what? I don't blame you for dropping the title. But part of me wants him to keep that title, and part of me wants him to go defend it against Povetkin because I think Joshua can beat Povetkin. I think he can do it. But I just don't see him knocking him out. I just don't see it. I think he could beat up Povetkin, but I just don't see him knocking him out because Povetkin does have a strong chin. He has a very durable chin. He's got very good punch resistance, even though he got hurt by Takum, but he's got very good recuperative powers. So, yeah, we'll see what happens in the next 24 hours because that 24-hour deadline did pass, though. Excuse me. By the way, that 24-hour deadline did pass, so we don't know what's going on with that situation, but we'll see. We'll see. In fact, it might get announced in the next few minutes or so, so we'll see. Yeah, so let me get a couple guys on here, then I'm gonna go call it tonight because I know it's kind of late. It's early in the morning in the UK, but like I said, Ahmed, I'm gonna try to get on here a lot earlier. I promise you that, brother. I will do that. So let's see. All right, so let me get these rascals on. All right. As far as Deontay Wilder fight us, perhaps fighting on his own, that could be a game changer for her. If he could get him to do it, I don't see it happening. But if he does, congratulations to Eddie Hearn. I would give him, my props. Give him my props for doing that. If he could sign Wilder onto the zone, if he could do it. Let's see. Mr. Doc says that they're shady because they're not trying to concoct ways to kill the sport. Yeah. Let me see. Vargas had a bad corner in the 12th round versus Tito. Should have been stopped. He should have been stopped after the first knockdown. I don't know. For me, Fernando battled back and knocked down Trinidad in the 5th round, so he was well in the fight. What happened was Ross Class that Trinidad was going to his dirty tactics to slow down Vargas. He hit him he low blowed him so many fucking times, and that slowed him down. And that's what, and of course, he was taking some, Tito was hitting Vargas with some monstrous shots at the end. And that not only tired out Fernando, but that really hurt him pretty badly. He was never the same after that fight. And then Fernando himself has even admitted at the end, after that fight that he wasn't the same. He admit that. He said himself that getting hit by Tito Trinidad was like getting hit by stones, but hit by rocks. Ain't funny, but I'm just saying. Let's see what we got here. Mr. Doc says, yeah, boxing pros need boxing to succeed in order to them to exploit in the way they want it. Yeah, it's always been that way. It's always been that way, Mr. Doc. No surprise there. Just about everyone avoided Ortiz at one point or another. Yeah, more than a handful of fighters have avoided that, man. I mean, it's funny, though, when Wilder beats him, he gets discredited as an old 100-year-old man, but yet it seems like nobody's keen to fight the dude. I just don't understand it. It seems like no one's keen on fighting this guy, even after Wilder beat him, and yet they try to discredit Wilder's win over the guy. I just don't get it. Roscott said, yeah, the Ortiz had the heavyweight division shook for a second. Yeah, I think he still got it shook now because nobody seemed to want to be interested to fight the guy. I know Dillian White says I'll fight him unless I can get a guarantee to get a shot at Wilder. I get that. Fair enough. But why didn't Dillian pursue the fight? I mean, to me, I think he should have gone that route rather than try to go the Pulev route, which he got outbidded in that first bid, which they never expected. Now he's fighting Parker. Okay, good opponent. But to me, I think Dillian should have took the Ortiz fight. Even though I didn't think he was going to win it, but I think he should have taken that fight. And if he had won it, he'd have been in distance to get a shot at Wilder. It probably would not have been an immediate shot, but he would have been in a position to get that shot one way or the other. Plain and simple. Mr. Doc says that I think Joshua stops Povetkin in the UK and Russia. Though there's some doubt. Yeah, I agree. Even in the UK, I don't know about that because I don't know. I don't think he could stop him either way. But in Russia, I don't think Joshua's chances winning Pete Povetkin in Russia. I want to say 50-50, but based off the shenanigans, that's what's going on in Russia. I don't know. I think I think Joshua should take the chance to go over to Russia to fight Povetkin and go for the knockout. I don't see him doing it, but I think he's capable of doing it, though. He could try it. He should. Roscoe says Povetkin's still game. Yeah, he is still game. No question about it. White's going to beat Parker, then upset Ortiz. Just watch. Well, let's hope he does take the Ortiz fight. I want Dillian to take that fight. As far as Joseph Parker, I don't know. We'll see. Can Dillian White deal with that hand speed? We'll see. Let me see. Let me get the other guys on. Let's see if anybody wants to come on. Let me get let's see. Charlie, hop on, man. Let's see. Let's see. Let me get Mr. Doc on too. There you go. I'll just keep it minimal for tonight. I know it's late, so let's see if anybody want to jump on real quickly before I head off. Yeah, I sent you a link, Mr. Doc, so hop onto it. Parker is going to fight very timid versus White like he did with AJ. Well, yeah, that's a good point, Rasclot. He did fight a bit timid, but when he tried to go for the inside, and I did look at that fight many times again, I think the referee didn't allow Parker to work to the inside. Every time they went into the clinches, he immediately broke it up. Unjustly done it too, because he didn't want to allow Parker to go to work to the inside against Joshua. So what was Joseph supposed to do? He wasn't going to be allowed to be worked to the inside. So he tried to go. He couldn't win the fight from the outside. So what else was he supposed to do? So he was pretty much caught in a rock in that situation. So it is what it is. I hope there's going to be a referee who's going to allow him to work to the inside against Dillian White. So we'll see. Mr. Doc, what's happening?
What up, dude?
Not much, man. Not much. Just trying to put on a rational thinking cap on this whole AJ and Wilder situation. Everybody's going crazy.
Rational, Dan. You're on YouTube, bro. You're on YouTube. You can't be no rational.
Yeah, there's no rationality that's going on. I mean, even I get criticized for being rational. I mean, come on, man. You know how it is. But you heard me, man. What do you think? What are your thoughts about this whole thing? I mean, seriously, to me, even if Wilder had signed the deal, the fight wasn't going to happen anyway. Her was going to announce it for a later date, and they still have to fight Povetkin. So I don't know why people get upset.
I honestly think, for lack of a better term, the old timer part of me wants to say this is nothing new under the sun. The only difference is how we're privy to more of it. If you go on with it. All this kind of shit, I think, has gone on in the past over and over. We just didn't have the access to the information the way we do now with all the Twitter, and it's, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like you were saying, I mean, come on. Of course, they're promoters. It's gonna every little nuance of making that fight is gonna be a power play between the two of them.
Absolutely. It's all about power plays. It's a power struggle, baby, basically, on who has the advantage over the other. And like I said, I think both sides were playing games. Let's be real. Let's be realistic.
I mean, exactly. And I don't think for a second that they're doing anything that, say, for example, a great example that we always go back to, Arum and Don King in their heydays, especially in the 80s when they'd butt heads.
Oh, yeah.
Or, I mean, they still did business. They do business, you know what I mean? But it wasn't. I'm sure if we had Twitter and the access that we got now, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be nearly as not pretty, but clean as it was at the time, because we didn't get all that stuff. We just got the fights, we got the promos, you know what I mean? Don saying this, but, Bob might say that, the fighters might say this, and then the fight happened.
Right. I mean, yeah, we all know that's the case here.
I guess what I'm getting at is I feel like it was way easier to be a fan when we didn't know this much.
That's true. Absolutely.
I know that might sound weird because I'm not a promoter of ignorance, but do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It'd be best that everything just be kept quiet, so that way nobody would be having any rambling and all this fuss over this situation. Because it wasn't like this years ago. Who the fuck is this dude in the chat? Trump shooter. Rocky Marciano is the best of all time. Nothing like two monkeys banging. Wait, hold up. Wait. Who the fuck you calling a monkey, bitch? Who the fuck are you, man? I mean, do you want to come on here and talk shit? You won't. Unless you're a troll fucking account. I mean, are you who the fuck are you? Who you calling a monkey? I mean, are you gonna address that Rocky Marciano comment, Mr. Doc? I mean, seriously, what the fuck?
All right, run that by me again. What did he say about Marciano?
Rocky Marciano is the greatest or the best fighter of all time. What the fuck? What the
troll, man. Troll. Is that librarian in disguise? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. We know that's you.
Oh, all right, wait, hold up. The dude said he wants to come on here. Oh, you want to come on here? Okay. I'll send you a link there. You talk that shit.
Please, defend Marciano. Defend Marciano, please. Yeah, come tell me why. Break it down why Marciano's the greatest.
Yeah, I'm going to bring your ass on here. Hold on. I'm going to bring your ass on here right now. You want to talk all that shit? Let me see. Hold on, Mr. Doc. Are you there, Mr. Doc, still?
Oh, I had to mute myself.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second, because I'm going to send it by a link. Actually, I probably can't even do it in the chat. Let me send this motherfucker, because they think it's going to be spam. He says 490 pure white talent. Oh, okay. You want to talk all that shit. Hold up. Let's see.
So you a genius. You do realize I'm a white dude, right?
Yeah.
to the moron in the chat.
Oh, see, this is actually a troll count. I can't even send him a fucking message. So let me ask you something, bitch. I don't call you a bitch, but sorry, you called me a monkey. But let me ask you something. You give me your email address right now.
I'll call him a bitch. I'll call him a bitch for you. You don't have you don't need to sully yourself, Dan. I'll do the dirty work here. All right.
All right. Cool.
Either shut your fucking mouth, or jump on and defend that ridiculous fucking statement you just dared fucking type out.
Yeah, man. Give me your email address, drum shooter. Give me your fucking email address. I'll send you a link right now. You can hop your ass on. And you tell us why the fuck is Rocky Marciano the greatest fighter of all time. All right, don't disrespect the Marciano, but you can't tell me he's the fucking greatest fighter of all time. That's fucking ridiculous. All right, is he one of the all-time greats? Absolutely. But come on. Seriously, Rocky Marciano's the greatest fighter of all time? You telling me he's better than fucking Sam Langford? Are you telling me he's better than Harry Greb? Seriously?
He's not better than fucking Mickey Walker, okay?
Yeah, Mickey Walker, Maxie Rose.
There we go. Mickey Walker versus, bring it on. Bring it to me. Mickey Walker versus Marciano. Come on. I want him to jump on, man. I want that. Bring on.
First of all, this ain't your fucking
because I will crush that shit in like 2 points. All right, Marciano versus Mickey Walker.
All right, first of all, his fucking email address says hangingmonkey@gmail. That ain't your fucking email. What's your real email address, man? What's your fucking email address?
See, I love it when they don't think you're gonna call their fucking shit.
Yeah. Come on, bro. What's your real email address? I mean, if you're not gonna send me your email address, then don't talk shit then. But if you want to stay in the chat and talk shit, then you tell us why Rocky Marciano is the best fighter of all time. Because he's 49-0.
Sorry, so since he's not gonna do it, so so Dan, who did Mickey Walker win his middleweight title from?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody knows who Mickey Walker.
And who's the German heavyweight that he fought and went friggin' toe to toe to it? And
Max Milling, come on,
and
man.
lasted 12 rounds. All right.
Yeah, actually, we all know that, man. No, he doesn't. This idiot don't even know that, man. But the fact is, come on, dude.
To me, those 2 points right there, Marciano beats Marciano. Anything he fucking did. All right. He beat Ezzard. I'll give him Ezzard, but he beat Ezzard 1 when he was towards the end. 2, Ezzard was a fucking middleweight. And 3, the last fight, in my opinion, the fucking the ALS Lou Gehrig's disease was starting to creep in.
Oh yeah, you talking about Archie Moore, and then at the end, all right.
I'm talking about because what's his name? Ezzard ended up with Lou Gehrig's disease. See.
Yeah, he did.
The last fight with Marciano, in my opinion, it was starting to creep in. I think.
It was starting to creep in, but I thought Ezzard won that fight. It was a very close fight. Could have gone either way. But,
that's
at the beginning...
He say a middleweight with fucking creeping on ALS almost beat the dude, arguably beat the dude. See? Meanwhile, Mickey Walker went 12 rounds with Max Schmeling. Right? Ball game, as far as I'm concerned. I'll leave that up to you, Dave.
Yeah, well, he beat Tiger Flowers, okay? So, come on, man. Beat Tiger Flowers for middleweight title. Come on. What the fuck you talking about, man?
Didn't Tiger Flowers beat Harry Greb?
Oh, yeah, he did. He beat Harry Greb. So,
get Marciano the fuck out of here. Thank you.
Well, he says, look, the dude, he won't even come on. He won't give me his real email address. So now he wants to
because he realized Mickey not even as good as Mickey Walker, who's not even close to the best middleweight ever. All right?
All right, so here's what he said. He's like, look, he's undefeated. He's white. Rocky beat 2, but who the fuck you? All right, man, I'm gonna fucking.
Oh, yeah, just block this mother.
Man, fuck out of here with this racist shit. He gonna talk about Wayne Brothers TBE after Rocky. Man, get out of here, bro. It's a fucking show.
He assumed we're both black. I don't know.
Yeah, fuck out of here, bitch.
That's just, you know what I mean? Like extra level of ignorance, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Let me see.
Did he even address my Mickey Walker point? Did he even address that? Because I don't have the thing open.
Nah, he didn't even address Mickey Walker. You don't even know who fucking Mickey Walker is. So,
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, the motherfucker don't even know who Leo Huck is, and he don't even know the names he beat. So get the fuck out of here, bro. Tommy Loughran, the fuck. Yeah, he's white. They were both white. Tommy Loughran, the Philly Phantom. Tell me what you know about him.
Yeah, Mickey Walker was white too. So what? Yeah, come on, man. Jerry Quarry. Here, Jerry Quarry, better heavyweight than Marciano. That's right, I said it.
Hey, I mean, I don't know. You might want to debate Mr. Doc on that one.
You want to debate that one? I say Jerry Quarry beats the shit out of Marciano. All right?
All right. All right, I'm trying to go to this. Hold up, man. I'm going to get to this dude, man. Let me go. Let me do this. Get his ass out of here, because the motherfucker is just...
Yeah, we're getting sidetracked, as funny as it is. But
all right, hold up, man. I'm going to take care of this right now. This thing is... All right, here we go. All right, gone. So fuck out of here, man. All right, man. Back to what we were saying. Back to
right before we get back to reality. That would be an interesting fantasy fight debate. Marciano versus Quarry.
That'd be a good fantasy fight. I mean, look, Marciano did have heart. He was a naturally small guy. Let's be realistic. He wasn't really
but Quarry wasn't too much bigger. You know what I mean? I'd say Quarry had the faster hands. Marciano obviously had the punch.
Yeah, he had the punch. I mean, he had the chin, obviously. But, let's be real. You could have a point, though, because Corey fought in the era where the heavyweights punched a lot harder. They were a lot bigger. And that was
he was an excellent inside fighter and counter puncher.
Oh, absolutely. The man fought in the era where you had killers in the heavyweight division. You had the damn Ernie Schaefer's, the Ron Lyles, who he beat, by the way.
Knocked Shavers out. Stopped him in one. Stopped Shavers in one.
Yeah. Yeah, knocked him out in the first round. Yeah, exactly. Ron Lyles beat him in decision. Randy Newman.
Yep. MSG. That was supposed to be Ron Lyles' coming out party. He flipped.
Absolutely.
Yep. Corey was no joke. I mean, and as I always point out of Foreman's own, do you think for a second, Dan, that Foreman would ever have said, I avoided Rocky Marciano? He'd have beat the shit out of Marciano.
Oh, nah. But let me ask you something, Mr. Doc, because I heard something about this. I heard this before. You probably know. Just confirm this is true. Did Rocky Marciano, was he offered a comeback fight and come out of retirement to face Muhammad Ali, and he turned that fight down? Is it true?
I honestly don't know, because that'd be some 60s stuff. It's kind of weird. I've always admitted, you know what I mean? My knowledge starts to fade once we get back past the 70s.
Okay.
I know he was offered a comeback fight against somebody. I'm not sure that it was Ali is the thing. I do know he went through work, tried to work out, and he was like, I can't do it.
All right. Well, obviously I'm not talking about the super fight. That was a computerized, fight that was between Ali.
Yeah, not that. I do remember hearing and reading about him considering a comeback fight, but that he ended up after trying, he just couldn't get into the training.
Right, he just couldn't do it. I mean, obviously, yeah, he was. Marciano was beaten up throughout his career. I mean, even though he was undefeated, but his style of fighting really took a lot of damage in his career, even against guys that way past their best.
Oh, that horrible fucking nose gash when his nose got laid open. Archie? Was it Archie that did that?
No, I think it was Barbados Joe Wilcott. No, I think it was Jersey Joe Wilcott that bashed
Jersey Joe. Okay, yeah. I mean, you could argue that the fight might have been stopped right then and there with that thing. I mean, he suffered
he suffered a hideous cut above his eye against Esty Charles in the first fight. That was a bad cut. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was like, lucky that fight didn't get stopped. I mean, that was a terrible gash that he suffered.
Yeah, and the nose one, if I remember right, didn't it actually cut part of his get into the cut went all the way down to his face or something? Because keep in mind, people, this is what the 60s, late or 50s, something like that, right?
Right.
And we all know how draconian. I mean, the refs just let you know what I mean. Look what the refs let Sonny Liston do to poor Floyd Patterson, right? Before they weighed that off. So keep that in mind, people. And when the ref seen that cut on Marciano, he said, "I'll give you one more round."
Yep.
So I mean, it was hideous. That was one of the worst cuts that you'll ever see. Up there with Vitali when he fought Lennox.
Yeah.
Probably worse given the times.
I thought it was worse
in
that cut. I thought at that time I thought it was worse, in my opinion. I really believe that because
because they let a lot more go back then. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man. So I mean, like I said, I was gonna keep it short, man, because I got some things to do. But I was gonna ask you real quickly, um, uh, Povetkin versus AJ. How do you see that happening? Do you think that's gonna go down in Russia? Do you think they're gonna? You think?
I have no idea. I can only imagine. That Eddie's pretty confident he's going to get the fight in the UK, or he wouldn't be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Acquiescing, so easily, so to speak, for lack of a better term.
Right.
I think you know what I mean. He'd be, be like, he'd be making a big stink about, we're not going to Russia. I think he'd just come out and say that.
Absolutely.
But basically, yeah, I said it in the comment section. To me, AJ clearly wins in the UK. And when I say stop him, I mean like probably corner stoppage. You know what I mean, or throw F waves it off, something like that. But where the fight becomes doubtful is in Russia, man.
Well, I think, because I mentioned too that he did have a meeting with the billionaire backer behind his Zone app deal, which is struggling to get fighters now, from what I've been hearing. And they really struggling to get fighters on there. So they had a meeting 2 days ago, and we don't know the outcome of that meeting. So I think Hearn is seeking help for that purse bid, and he courted him, and we know his net worth is $20 billion. I forgot the guy's name because I looked it up myself. But we don't know anything about Ryan Binsky's net worth. We know he's a billionaire, but
Ryan Binsky's so rich he fucking is able to keep that information away from the public.
Exactly. We don't know his net worth. In fact, Povetkin does have more than just a Ryan Binsky backer. Ryan Binsky works with a team of people. You know what I mean? Guys who got money.
Dude, Ryan Binsky, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty damn sure I've seen but Vladimir Putin at some of the World of Box shows.
Yeah. Absolutely. So
I mean, dude, when you say the dude's connected, we're talking connected.
Oh yeah, I mean he was connected to guys who are billionaires just like he is. So I don't think he's
guy connected to Vladimir Putin for freak's sake. You know what I mean?
No, and that's right there. Like, come on, dude. I mean, this guy that Eddie Hearn's courting, I don't think he's gonna help him. When he could help him, but how far is he gonna go to help him? Because I don't think he's gonna have enough resources to outbid Povetkin and Ryan Binsky. I don't think he does. If he does, congratulations. He's got, that's a miracle if he could do it. Yeah, I mean, for Hearn. All
right, I got that. You know what? You just made me think of a devil's advocate point. All right, just hypothetically, or I'm not saying this is what I think, or because I haven't given it much thought. So obviously, we all agree, regardless of who we think wins, the Wilder fight's dangerous. Anybody fighting Wilder is dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Like I said,
that's a dangerous fight.
I said it on Beats' thing earlier today. Look, even if Wilder wasn't a champion, even if Wilder hadn't fought Ortiz, I'd still want to see him fight AJ. It's the biggest puncher in the division. Who doesn't want to see? Who don't want to see the champ against the consensus biggest puncher, especially at heavyweight? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's peanut butter and jelly, ain't it?
Yeah, and that's another point I wanted to make too. We could say you can say what you want about Deontay Wilder's resume. It's not a good resume. We know that. But at the end of the day, he's still a very dangerous fighter. Let's be realistic. Regardless of what you say about the man, he's still a very dangerous fighter. Okay, he can knock you out at any time as long as he get that right hand in. You know what I mean? Or even that left hook. He's got power.
Exactly. Yes. The man's capable of knocking anybody out. Doesn't mean he's going to, but you know what I mean. He's the danger dude.
Oh, absolutely.
I've said repeatedly, he's this era's Ernie Shavers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't compare him to Ernie Shavers, but I'm just saying,
No. I'm just saying Ernie was the dude in terms of he was the puncher. Out of the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he can knock you out with that right.
Exactly. Wilder is the puncher of this era. In the way that Shavers was the puncher of that era. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you. no comparison. So that way people don't get confused. Say, oh, you compared Wilder to Ernie Schaefer's? No, that's not what the doctor's doing.
Yeah,
Relax.
yep, exactly. I'm just saying he's the king puncher. And hey, people wanted to see people fight Schaefer's because he was a puncher. He was a popular fighter.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. But
so, like I said, man, what I'm really, I guess, getting at here is, you see, and then so we've got the basic elements, like I said, peanut butter and jelly to begin with. All the other stuff, he's a champion. On top of it, it's going to be for undisputed, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you know, of course, everybody should want to see this.
Well, if AJ can keep that WBA title, I mean, you know, if he can't win the purse bid, there's rumors swirling around that he may drop that WBA title. So I hope he doesn't. But part of me says that I don't blame him for doing it. But part of me says that he should keep that title. I'll be disappointed if he does give it up. You know, I'm just being honest. I think he should go with it, but who knows, man?
I got to disagree, Dan. I not disagree with your opinion, but what I mean is what the general reaction is going to be. He's going to get 10 times what Lennox got if he did relinquishes one of those, in my opinion.
He's going to get a lot of flack for doing it, obviously.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Oh, my God. It's going to be a firing squad on the dude if he lets go of one of the belts. That's just, I'm not saying that's, that it's warranted, you know what I mean, or right. I'm just saying that's right. What's going to happen, though.
Yeah, it's true, man. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's been past 24 hours now, so we don't know what's going on now, what the announcement is going to be. So hopefully they, pretty much they fight. It's going to be in the UK. Let's hope. I really hope it's in the UK because I really don't want that fight to be in Russia, to be honest with you. But
yeah, he's not. I'll say this much: it's going to be monumentally difficult to beat Povetkin on the cards over there.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree on that. That's the whole argument there because people want to know exactly, that's what people are looking for, or not looking for. That's what people are hoping that's the case. If he does drop that belt, of course, he's going to get an onslaught of criticism from the Povetkin followers.
Oh, if he thinks, especially the American Wilder fans are going in hard now.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord! It's it's going to be nuclear. Yep. It's going to be nuclear if he lets go one of the belts, man. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not saying that's what I'm just saying, look, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's no hate, but that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, I won't criticize him for it. I would be a little disappointed, but I'm not going to be like those Povetkin or diehards or those whoever you want to call them, and then they go attack the man for being a coward. I'm not doing it.
You mean the meldonium experts? Those dudes?
Yeah, quote unquote, the so-called science.
Yeah.
Biochemists or something like that, bioscience experts, or whatever.
Yeah. Who remember? And these were the same people that tried to say that somehow Al Heyman got some kind of ninja to sneak into the UCLA. University of California, Los Angeles, for those that don't know.
I know. You know what's funny though, because they kind of attacked that lab at UCLA, the lab that was, they were sanctioned and they lost their accreditation. So that
I get that. But when they went to they got someone to sneak in and mess with this, that was just like.
That's the one thing I want to address too, because there's people who are trying to discredit that lab. I was like, okay, what did them losing their accreditation have to do with the Povetkin case? Did they cook up the results of that case? And they can't answer that question. And like, well, how can you discredit that lab if they had nothing? If what they got in trouble for had nothing to do with the Povetkin case? How can you say that?
And this isn't just some random nationally accredited university. This is like a major, you know what I mean? Major, school. I mean, it's like UCLA, USC, Notre Dame, maybe a few others that are, you know what I mean, in that kind of stratosphere.
Absolutely, and the fact is that lab got back their accreditation, so they're still there. Yeah, they're still there. They were just sanctioned. They lost their accreditation temporarily, and they got it back. So it's not like they got shut down. A lot of people say, "Oh, they got shut down." No, they didn't. They're still there. And like I said, these people, I'm not gonna name who they are. I'm like, okay, tell me how did them get it sanctioned? Had anything to the Paveckin case? They cook up the result of that case.
As soon as they got the accreditation back, they shut up. They got silent on that. See.
They shut the fuck up.
Because that whole, which, by the way, this happens in colleges in all kinds of departments where they've got to, defend their accreditation for whatever reason, right? But that was their only leg to stand on, was the accreditation thing.
Oh, yeah, exactly. What happened to Rosada? Rosada is still under suspension, so they haven't been reinstated. So what's going on with that,
Oh, no, Dan. No. Rosada we can trust.
Yeah, okay. Let's trust those people.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So, it's a never-ending story. But
Rosada are the with the plaster saints and all this. It's Wada and everybody else that's evil.
Right. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. But you know what, man? I'm gonna wrap it up. Got to get off here. Got to get up in the morning. But thanks for coming on, man, and I really appreciate you as always. But I'll probably get on early so that way. Yeah, I promise my commenters I'll get on earlier next time so that way everybody's awake. Because I know time zones is always an issue. So, anyways, guys, I want to thank my commenters for coming on. Mr. Doc, as always. So, let's see what happens in the next 24 hours or so about the whole Paveckin situation. Other than that,
we got to try and squeeze some classic stuff in eventually here sometime, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're definitely going to do that, man. Definitely. I enjoy that. So, we're definitely going to put in the next fight. We'll talk about that some later time. So, other than that, everybody, thank you for coming on.
Late.